Hi, I'm Denise Woolley, County Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences in Graves County. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the fundamentals of fermented foods. At the end of this episode, hopefully we will understand how fermented foods support the good bacteria in our bodies and support gut health. We're going to discuss what probiotics and prebiotics are, become familiar with fermented foods, and talk about the connection between the pollution in our environment and the negative effects that it has on our body. Fermented foods have been aged in a way that allows for the good bacteria to develop. They benefit our health in many different ways. Common fermented foods are yogurt, soy sauce, sauerkraut, and some types of pickles. These are consumed regularly. How can bacteria be good for us? There's different kinds of bacteria. Some are good and some are bad. Some types of bacteria are harmful and can cause illness, while other types of bacteria can benefit our health. Good bacteria work with the body to help the body stay healthy, and these bacteria are called probiotics. So what exactly are probiotics? Well, probiotics are live bacteria and yeast that help support the digestive system. And when they're consumed, the probiotics will travel through the gut and help prevent the development of diseases. They help keep the gut acidic, which kills the harmful bacteria that gets into our bodies. They will help keep our immune system strong. So what have you heard about probiotics before? You may have heard them mentioned in yogurt commercials or advertisements on television. They talk about yogurt having live cultures and that these are one of the best sources of probiotics because it helps the good bacteria stay alive and active until it's consumed. Eating yogurt and other fermented foods is an easy way to include more probiotics in your diet. So now we've discussed what probiotics are. So what are prebiotics? Prebiotics support the good bacteria that already exist in your gastrointestinal tract. And these foods are found in foods that are high in fiber. They stimulate the growth of the good bacteria and help the good bacteria get stronger. So these common foods that have the prebiotics in them are onions, garlic, asparagus, sweet potatoes, whole grains, and bananas. So eating a diet that is very high in fiber will help ensure that you are getting plenty of these prebiotics. So is your gut in good health? Many things can cause a negative impact on our gut health. Those things include a lack of physical activity, chronic stress, a high-fat diet, and taking antibiotics. Consuming probiotics and prebiotics can help you build back up the good bacteria. There is a link between fermented foods and pollution. Pollution is something that we're exposed to in our environment, whether it be in the water, the air, the soil, or the foods that we eat. The exposure to these certain pollutants will lower our immune system, making the body more susceptible to disease. Good nutrition is key and one of our best defenses in staying healthy. Eating these fermented foods will support our immune system by providing probiotics. So increase your intake of fermented foods to help build a strong immune system. There are several different types of fermented foods, so we're going to talk about some of them. Yogurt, as we mentioned before, usually contains several types of probiotics. So when you're buying some, just check the ingredient list to determine which ones they contain. And they will have yogurt cultures. You can use yogurt, fruit, ice, and juice to make a fresh and healthy smoothie. You can mix together 1 cup of plain yogurt with 2 tablespoons of honey to make a yogurt dip or a dressing for a fruit salad. Greek yogurt has become very popular, and it is regular yogurt that has been strained that also usually contains probiotics. It's thicker and usually has a higher protein content than regular yogurt. You can use Greek yogurt in the place of sour cream or mayonnaise. Using the fat-free Greek yogurt is a way to reduce your fat intake as well. There is a wonderful recipe that is part of the Plated Up Kentucky Proud campaign called Apple Cranberry Waldorf Salad, and this recipe contains Greek yogurt. Soy sauce was one of those other very common fermented foods that we talked about earlier. It is made from aged fermented soybeans, and it's traditionally used in Asian cuisine. There is also low sodium soy sauces available. A good recipe idea for savory chicken is to brush any cut of chicken with soy sauce and sprinkle ginger and garlic over it, then bake or saute. Another plated up Kentucky Proud recipe is Asian asparagus salad, and this recipe contains low sodium soy sauce. Miso is a Japanese food. It is a fermented soybean paste, and it's a very versatile condiment. You could use miso to make a traditional Japanese breakfast called miso soup. Whisk 1 tablespoon of miso per cup of hot water to make the soup, and then you could add thin slices of mushrooms and onions. Sauerkraut is another very common fermented food, and it is just chopped cabbage that has been fermented in a salty brine. It is one of the easiest fermented foods to make at home. A recipe idea is sauerkraut pork chops. Try topping pork chops with sauerkraut and baking them in the oven for a savory dinner. Also, sauerkraut is very popular on sandwiches. Kefir is a dairy-based drink full of probiotics like yogurt drinks. It comes in plain or flavored varieties. Try kefir by itself or as an addition to a smoothie. Or try the kefir popsicles by pouring the fruit-flavored kefir into popsicle molds for a healthy, kid-friendly treat. Kefir can be found in the dairy section of the grocery, either beside the milk or the yogurt. Kimchi is another fermented food that is spicy pickled vegetables. It usually contains cabbage, radishes, cucumbers, and green onions, and the spices of garlic, ginger, and chili powder. It's a national food of Korea. It's used as a condiment or on the side. Buttermilk. Probiotics are added to low-fat and fermented varieties of buttermilk, like in kefir and yogurt. Use it to make a coleslaw or a creamy salad dressing or in traditional buttermilk biscuits. So we've talked about fermented foods, the pollution in our environment, and what we can do to try to help build a healthy immune system. Well, fermented foods contain the probiotics and prebiotics that we need for good gut health. These foods are an important part of our diet because a good nutrition is one of the body's best defenses for staying healthy. So increase your intake of fermented foods to improve your nutrition.